Hey everyone, welcome to Choose Recovery. Whoa, whoa! It is Friday night, so glad to be here. I am powerless over drugs and alcohol and codependency. My name is Arlene, but today I choose recovery. I love when you say hello to me. Thank you so much for saying hello to me. I know that I am exactly where I belong, that you guys get me. We're all here because we are not all there. And if you're not all there, make some noise today. See, I'm very glad about this. Okay, so Anthony just said we're going to have we're going to have 4 testimonies. And it's true, because here's the deal. We always have like lesson or a testimony, lesson and a testimony, and then, you get to hear from somebody who's been like sober a long, long time, or, been working this program like for years and years and years, and that's all really cool. But sometimes we can hear recovery testimonies for people who've been in the program for many years, and maybe you can feel like, maybe we haven't reached the milestones that they've reached in our faith or in our recovery. And we go, wow, how am I ever going to get, 5 years of recovery under my belt? Or how am I ever going to get 20 years of recovery under my belt? But let's not forget, we need to never forget that every stage of our faith and recovery is important, including when we're newer, including when we're just starting out and we're just learning about how recovery works. Because we would never get to be old timers if we were never newcomers. Say yeah to that. So if you're new tonight, welcome. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here. Tonight, we have 4 testimonies from newer members of our recovery community. I asked them to share a little with us about what brought them here, where they're at now with Jesus, their relationship with Jesus, and with working the program, and a little of their experience with working the 12 steps with a sponsor, and how their life is changing as a result of Jesus and this program. And I've asked them to do that to remind us that nothing is impossible with God. Nothing. Say yeah. And I'd like to invite first my friend Kelly out. She's taking a very deep breath right now as she's coming out, and she's going to be the first one to share. They're going to share one after another. So let's welcome Kelly.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I am a grateful Christian in recovery from drugs and alcohol, and today I choose recovery. My clean date is February 11th, 2021, which means today I have 1 year sober. I am so honored to be able to celebrate it with you. My recovery journey started last year from a mini midlife crisis. I was turning 40 in 2021 and knew in my heart I could no longer live the way I was. I had been using since I was 16. For 24 years, I had been putting some sort of substance in my body. I realized I had a problem with drugs 13 years ago. That is when I overdosed and I could not stop using drugs, even though trying. That is when I discovered Choose Recovery and the 12 steps. Throughout the years, I have tried getting sober, but fear of the 4th step and doing the program my way always took me back out. I am sober today because of the 5 essentials: Jesus, meetings, sponsor, service, and the 12 steps. I am currently on the 6th step. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. What is a character defect? The definition is any type of imperfection in the way a person thinks or behaves. A few of mine are anger, selfishness, defensiveness, plays the victim. In Drop the Rock, it states the 6th step is about surrendering. The first act is awareness, the second is acceptance, and the third is surrender. You have to stop struggling and relax, reflect, and turn to your higher power. It also says the pain of living the way I have becomes greater than the pain of fear, or the fear of pain. The 6th step means facing ourselves, and that is usually more difficult than being honest with another person. The 12-step program is teaching me how to be a good person. Life is going to happen, the good and the bad. Learn to be grateful for what you have and cherish it. I have learned you only have right now, not yesterday or tomorrow, but today. I cannot compare my life to my recovery to anyone else's. We all are on our own journey. Okay, I have learned I have no control of what goes on beyond myself. You are who you hang out with. Surround yourself with good people. What you put into yourself, you give out. Fill yourself with positivity and love. You will make mistakes. Take responsibility for your actions. I have learned to cope with my emotions. The program does work, but you have to be willing to do the work. When you do the work, you become someone new. The person you were supposed to be before drugs and alcohol took over your life. The person you have been all along under the guilt and shame and anger. I have learned that I am kind, thoughtful, caring, compassionate person that likes to help people. I want to make a difference in other people's lives by treating them with respect and kindness. I want people to know I really see and hear them. I can finally look at myself in the mirror and I like what I see. I try and let go of my pride and ego daily. I pray every day to do God's will, not mine. I listen to the people that have come before me and do what they did because I want what they have. They have the knowledge. They know how to handle life. There is life and life on the other side. You can make it there. You have to work it to get there. It is so worth it. You deserve better. We were not made to carry guilt, shame, anger, trauma, pain, resentments inside of us. It poisons ourselves and the people around us we love. Everyone deserves love and peace and happiness. The 9-step promises do come true. I do know a new happiness and freedom. I do not regret my past. It has led me here. I have peace and serenity. I did not know what that was until now. My whole attitude and outlook on life has changed. Lastly, I would like to thank my sponsor. She showed me love when I did not know how to love myself. By her actions, I have learned to treat people with love, respect, and kindness. She has taught me about boundaries and accountability. Her job is to lead me through the 12 steps, but she does so much more than that. She pushes me out of my comfort zone, which I hate at times, but I'm grateful every time she does. Thank you so much for letting me share tonight.
All right, that was a little rapid fire here. Hello, everyone. My name is Felix, a grateful Christian who is powerless over alcohol, drugs, women, and gambling. And today I choose recovery. Hello. My sobriety date is June 12th, 2021, and tomorrow I will be 8 months clean. Yes. I have a sponsor, and my sponsor has a sponsor, and I have worked the 12 steps. And I'm fully committed to the 5 essentials of Jesus, meetings, 12 steps, sponsor, and service. As a direct result of this commitment, I have today a life that is much better than I could have ever imagined a year ago, ever. This is not a line, this is the truth. To briefly qualify myself, I grew up in a wonderfully supportive family with a father who is, and still is, larger than life. Growing up, I was paraded around like Simba from The Lion King as the heir to the throne. Even though I did well in school and sports, I did not have my father's social abilities and saw how this allowed him to achieve remarkable success in a career as a U.S. diplomat and in government. My social anxiety was crippling as a child and through high school. But when I experienced the effects of alcohol for the first time, all of my problems were solved. In one beer, I became my hero, and the floodgates opened for what would be a tumultuous 23-year spin cycle I could not break out of. I used alcohol to make me more social, and at first it worked and was unbelievably fun, despite consequences almost from the start. Then to keep the alcohol effects going as long as possible, I started using cocaine. Then I started leaving social settings earlier and earlier to use more and more cocaine. At the end, I was relegated to a bathroom using crack cocaine every single waking hour. Crack cocaine is expensive when you don't stop smoking it. And I found that out after rifling through a $2 million scratch ticket lotto win in just 9 months in 2020. I thought the lotto hit was a miracle and then a curse, and today I do know it to be a miracle. The Bible defines a miracle as an extraordinary event manifesting divine intervention in human affairs. God has been knocking on my door my whole life, and he blew the door completely off its hinges when he gave a drug addict a lotto win. Without completely destroying myself, I would not have ever been given the motivation to seek this new life. I came into the rooms of AA shattered in December of 2020. This was the only state of mind that would allow me to be humbled enough to listen to the advice of others. They told me to find a sponsor, attend 90 meetings in 90 days, and most of all, work the 12 steps of recovery. I have done everything in my ability to do every single suggestion given to me, and I'm here to tell you that the suggestions, they do work. The 12 steps and the guide of a sponsor have allowed me to establish a relationship with God. When I gave the keys to God and let him drive the car, everything almost immediately turned around. It wasn't just the tangible blessings of getting my daughter back in my life, getting a job again in a city I've always loved. That's Fort Myers. Joining in a tennis league that gives me such joy, and the numerous social opportunities afforded me. But it also gave me the most incredible gift of all, confident peace. I can finally do all the pipe dreams I would tell the drunk on the bar stool next to me. There is no more mental obsession, longing for the next opportunity I'll be able to isolate and party. I don't do drug math every time I get a paycheck or have a big cash infusion. I don't wait for anything to be happy. I get to be happy today, right now. I know that I am living a spiritual life when I don't see the forest, but instead I can see the leaves of each tree. Every day I look forward to waking up because this life is not one long adventure, but a string of thousands and thousands of adventures. And that's just been the last 8 months. While I can't wait to see what the next 8 months will bring, right now I'm ecstatic about just the next 5 minutes. Thank you for sharing this ride with me, and God bless you all.
Good evening. My name is Gwen, and tonight I choose recovery over codependency. Thank you. I've been coming to choose recovery on and off with my husband, Kip, since 2019. I never fully committed to working the steps or the program until May 14th, 2021. Actually, it'll be 9 months on Monday. I started to choose recovery because my husband, I saw a change with him, and it made a huge impact. He was making some changes, and I was starting to get jealous, and I thought, you know what, I need something for me. And so I realized I had a lot of issues. I was sitting in a codependent room, and we were doing the Melody Beattie's book, Codependent No More, and I'm telling you, I knew right then and there that I was codependent. And I wanted to be fully engaged, so I knew I needed to start working those steps, and I had to get a sponsor. And so as the meeting went on that night, I decided to ask this lady, and I said, "Would you be my sponsor?" And she said, "Sure." I said, "Great." Now, for some of you that don't know me or maybe know me, I'm shy. I'm an introvert. I actually put a lot of walls up. I don't let people in at all. I isolate myself. And in fact, my kids tell me, "Mom, you don't have any friends." And I don't let people in. But I was excited to start this program because I was letting somebody in. I was working those steps. And of course, being that type A personality, I wanted to work these steps. And I'm on step 11 right now, and I've been working these steps good. And actually, step 1 for me was my life was unmanageable. And yes, it was. I was dealing with an alcoholic husband. I was dealing with a lot of issues. I had to give those cares over to God. And then, as I went through step 2 and 3, I realized that I have a relationship with God. Every morning I get up and I'm reading the Word and I'm spending time with God, I'm meditating, and I just enjoy God. God is my best friend. So I didn't have a problem with 3 and 4. But then I get to step number 4, or actually 2 and 3. I get to step number 4. And that is when it starts getting hard. Start putting those hurts and that pain on my paper. And I start journaling people, and I start putting those names on, and it was interesting because one time I called my sponsor, and I said, guess what? I just ran into somebody on my paper at the grocery store. I haven't seen them for 10 years. I knew right then, God is with me. He wanted me to work these steps. I started to heal. Now, Pastor Arlene told me to keep this short and sweet, so I do have one thing I do want to share with you. My biggest struggle was my ex-husband. I had been married over 13 years. He told me what to do, what I needed to wear. He told me that I had to watch certain TV programs. I wasn't allowed to read certain books. I had to read my Bible. And he told me I was fat, ugly, worthless. And he told me to take the kids if I ever left him. It was tough. But then one day he came home and he said, I'm not happy anymore after 13 years. And he left me for one of our employees that was 10 years younger than me. Now, at first, I was devastated, but we had 3 girls, 1, 3, and 7. And as we were going through the divorce, one day I got a knock on the door. It was the feds. It was the IRS. It was the SEC. They seized everything I owned. I had $1,000 to my name, no bed, nothing. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was struggling. No one wanted to be around us because he was getting sentenced to 15 years in prison, and no one wanted to be around me. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know what I was going to do. My dad and my parents couldn't help me because my dad had lost his job. I didn't have anyone. My 7-year-old, because remember, I had a 1, 3, and 7, and they were watching me. My 7-year-old wanted to commit suicide. And I thought, I really don't want to live either. But I decided I wanted to live. I needed to because I was the only one for these children. No one else was left. And so over the years, I got back up. I worked 3 jobs. I started back up. And all of a sudden, God was showing up. Then, of course, my ex-husband got out of prison. And as you know, kids do find out all about their fathers. And my freshman, she was a freshman, that was my youngest. Now was 1, and now she's a freshman. She wanted to commit suicide. Her dad told her that he didn't want anything to do with them, that he wasn't their father anymore. I was struggling with a lot of things going on. I thought I had worked this hurt and this pain. And so as time went on, he was missing for 2 years. No one knew where he was until last summer. Last summer, I got a call from his sister, and his sister told me, hey, can you do me a favor? They found his car. Can you go get it? So of me being a codependent person, I said, sure, I'll help you out. So I go to get his stuff. They didn't know where he was. He had been living in his car. No one knew. So I go get these 4 bags. I had to pay the $200 to get those bags. And as I'm pulling out of the gate, that stupid gate in this auto recovery place goes and slams in my car. Now I'm angry because now I've got $6,000 worth of damage, and I'm upset, and I'm like, God, I'm actually so upset. I'm going down I-75. I'm cursing God. I'm saying his name in vain, and I'm saying, God, I don't understand. I've dealt with him for 34 years. I'm just trying to do something. I get home, and I get to my happy place. I pull out my journal, and I started writing. I started just pouring out my heart. All these 34 years of unforgiveness, hatred, anger was just pouring out. And as I was pouring it out, finally I calmed down, and God said, Gwen, you're going to help him. I said, yeah, right, God. Do you know what he did to me in 34 years? Do you know all the harassment? The news crews and I just had death threats, everything. God said, you're going to help him. So finally I agreed after arguing with God, and I said, okay, God, I'm going to help him. But we have a problem here. I don't know how to get a hold of him. And so, of course, he said, go look in the bag. I look in the bag. Right on the top was a notebook with his email. So I go and email him. I go and send that email off. And I said, God, it's up to you. So he contacts me. He says, I would love my stuff. So I told my husband, Kip, I said, come on. We're going to go give him his stuff. He's going to meet us at Publix. And as I was going, you have to remember, I had a lot of pain, and I used to throw up, and just being around him, I hated it. But God gave me a calm and peacefulness. And as we were driving to Publix, there was a man with a white bag holding it. And I started to cry. And I saw God just showing me. He opened my eyes and he said, oh my gosh, he's homeless. He doesn't have a home. So we took him, we went to the parking lot, and I said, where are you staying? He says, I don't have a home. He had been living in his car for 2 years, and he had, for 2 months, actually, was living out behind the McDonald's there. I helped him get into a halfway house. I got him some groceries, and I got him some food. See, over the years, I realized I was holding on to that pain and unforgiveness. See, it doesn't hurt the other person at all. It hurts me emotionally, physically, spiritually. That is why God says forgive and let go. That's why we work these steps. You know, it helps us. And before I end, I just wanted to say one thing. When God had me write in my journal, and I wanted to read this quickly, we cannot undo the past, but we can change how we see them through God's eyes. Our life is a journey and a story to help many. Just like we are in the theme, nothing is impossible with God.
Hi, everybody. Hello. I'm a Christian man who is powerless over drugs and alcohol. My name is Jimmy, and today I could choose recovery. Hi, I like to hear that. My recovery start date is September 2nd, 2021. So here I'm going to take you back to the year 2019. I was incarcerated on Ortez Boulevard in the Lee County Jail. There is where I signed up for a program that we called God Pod. But really, it was called A New Beginning. This is where I got in touch with God because, of course, this is where my life was completely out of control. We had speakers come into the jail and tell us about God, and if we would just have some faith and trust in Him, how He could and would change my life. This is where I met a man, which is our very own Mr. Kip. He was accompanied by 3 other men who were speakers at the jail. Now, I already knew about Choose Recovery at our Grace Central campus. When I was homeless, they fed me. That is what I needed at the time. But what I didn't know is that they brought Choose Recovery into the jail. Until we had a Saturday, I believe it was a Saturday, jam session, and it rocked and got my attention. And there again was that man, Kip. We talked about a few things in recovery because he also brought an AA meeting into the jail. So when I got out of jail, I could not wait to hit up a Choose Recovery. And And with Choose Recovery and other meetings I attended, I was able to stay clean for about 2.5 years. I thought I was strong at this point in my life. But go figure, COVID hit and everything shut down. I stayed strong for a little while, but without support group behind me, I eventually relapsed. So you may be asking yourself, why? Well, I did too. But see, here's the deal. In all that time, I never had a sponsor or worked the 12 steps in my recovery. So yes, if you could only imagine, I found myself back in jail due to a failed UA test. I was in jail this time around. I received a message on my jail mail from a guy by the name of Anthony. I was like, who in the heck is this Anthony? I had no idea. The next day, there was a message, TFTD. Well, what the heck is that, you ask? Well, so did I. It stands for Thought for the Day. Duh. You see, Kip and Anthony had set up a jail mail account to talk with inmates about Choose Recovery and the 12 steps. So when I got back out of jail, I came straight to a Choose Recovery meeting and got plugged in. You see, the difference this time is I looked and listened, and I finally asked somebody to be my sponsor. And yes, go figure, my sponsor is Anthony. You see, I listened when he was talking, and he had a connection, and I had a connection with his story. This is the reason why I chose him. I have a hard time choosing people. Today, me and my sponsor are working the steps and the program. You see, my sponsor has a good couple of years clean and can help me walk through these 12 steps. I am currently working on my 4th step, and it has opened my eyes to the part that I have, and it has opened my eyes in a part that I have played in all my mess. As of today, I have seen a big impact in my life. I am feeling free, I am feeling happy, I am feeling joy, and I am feeling peace. And today my life is somewhat manageable, but I still have a long way to go, my friends. If there is one thing that I can make sense of for you today, and if you are a newcomer to this way of life, like I am, I would like to make a suggestion. Hold your heads up high because you had the courage to walk through those doors. Get a sponsor, work the simple steps, and like in my life, I promise you, your life will start to change. So today I'm going to tell you how my life has changed. I hit my 6-month mark on February 2nd, 2022. I've been baptized. I have a job. I have a car. I have a roof over my head today. I also have a great bunch of guys who support me and have made real good friends here. I have a network of people I connect with as well. So, stick and stay, my friends, and let the miracle happen for you, like it has happened for me and many of us. Don't sell yourself short. Today I stand up here in front of you to let you know that nothing is impossible with God. Thank you for letting me share.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my gosh. Jesus is always seeking us. God is always seeking us in our hardest time, in our deepest time, in the times of our most trials and sorrows, in our most weakness. Jesus is always seeking us. It says in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 26 and 27. Chapter 26 is the words of Jesus. And he says, I will send you the Spirit who comes from the Father and shows what is true. The Spirit will help you and will tell you about me. And when we come here, the Holy Spirit comes alive in us through those 12 steps. And verse 27 says, then you will also tell others about me because you've been with me from the beginning. You see, that is what these guys did. And I just want us to give them a big round of applause to be able to do that. Thank you guys for sharing that. But I would also like to take this opportunity to have Kelly come on over here so I can give her her 1-year medallion today. I had no idea when I asked her that this was going to be her 1 year. Congratulations, good work. Woo! Yay, nothing is impossible with God. So here's the deal. If y'all are here today and there's something on your heart, there's something on your spirit, there's something going on, you think that it can't be fixed. There's no way. It's gone too far. It's gone too long. It's too hard. It's not true. No matter what it is, God is working right now. This altar is open. We're going to sing a song called I Surrender. It's time to just come and surrender, whatever that thing is. Even if you've been around a long time, there's always those sticking points in our life, aren't there? And we still can turn them over to God, and God can still redeem those pieces. And so this altar is open. We're going to pray. Let's stand to pray. And we have some prayer people here that can pray with you. If you need them to pray with you, just raise your hand. God, we just thank you for the miracles that we've heard in Kelly and Felix and Gwen and Jimmy. And we thank you for the miracles that you're doing right now in our life as well. And today we just ask that you enter into every single person here in a brand new way, a fresh way, and allow them to see that nothing is impossible with you. And as they come to the altar to pray, to lay down their old stuff, to surrender their old stuff, and to pick you up, allow them to leave with that new hope in Jesus' name. Amen. The altar is open.